Let's be honest, for a long time, we've all been working from a pretty old playbook when it comes to success. But in the world we live in today, the rules have totally changed. So, yeah, it's definitely time for an upgrade.
So let's just kick things off with a bombshell from, Mark Cuban. For decades, we've been told one thing over and over, follow your passion. But what if that's not just a little off? What if it's actually damaging advice? And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If the career map we were all handed is basically useless now, how are we supposed to find our way? We need a new framework, a whole new set of rules. Okay, so first things first, we really need to get our heads around why the old advice just doesn't work anymore. Let's break down the problem.
Just think about how big this problem is for a second. Research shows that a staggering 80% of people don't have some single pre-existing passion just sitting there waiting to be found. For most of us, being told to find it is like being sent on a treasure hunt with no map. And this, right here, just illustrates the core issue perfectly. The old playbook sold us this myth of discovery, that passion is out there somewhere and you just have to find it. But the reality? Passion is something you actually develop through hard work and getting good at something. The old way also glorified hustle culture, right? Like we wore our exhaustion like a badge of honor. But we all know now that's just a one-way ticket to burnout, not any kind of sustainable success. So if passion is the wrong target, what should we be aiming for instead? Well, the answer is a much, much more powerful concept, a calling. This is our new North Star, a calling. A calling isn't just about what you love to do. It's about finding that amazing sweet spot where what you're good at and what you're interested in provides real, actual value to other people. It's about contribution, not just self-fulfillment. Now, finding a calling might sound a little abstract, I get it, but it's actually a really practical three-phase process. You start by searching, casting a wide net, looking at all your interests and talents. Then you explore. You take a promising idea and test it in the real world, maybe through a little project or an apprenticeship. And finally, once you find a path that really clicks, you commit. You build a vision and you make a plan to bring it to life. What this really means is we have to reframe our whole mindset. So instead of passion, try following your effort. Like Mark Cuban says, getting good at something is what makes you passionate about it. Or hey, follow your energy. What are the things that give you fuel instead of draining you? And finally, follow your contribution. Focus on creating value for the world, and fulfillment, it'll follow. Finding your why is half the battle, for sure. But now we need the how. This is all about building the engine that's going to actually drive you toward your goals, especially in a world that's changing so fast. To stay relevant, you just have to stay informed. That means getting really comfortable with AI in your field, understanding big concepts like digital twins, which are basically virtual models of physical things, and realizing that, hey, cybersecurity is everyone's job now. It's about keeping your eye on the whole landscape of automation and all this new tech. In today's world, you just can't afford to sit back and react. You have to be your own chief disruption officer. Because if you're not disrupting yourself, trust me, someone else is absolutely going to disrupt you. It's all about innovating before you're forced to. Okay, so what does this actually look like in practice? Well, it starts with a really clear 3-year strategy. From there, you make smart investments in technology to make things more efficient and in people to build up their skills. And, this is crucial, you build resilience by diversifying how you bring in money. So we have our why and our how. But there is one more critical piece that the old playbook completely, totally ignored. And this secret ingredient is knowing when to stop. This is such a simple, but wow, what a profound shift in mindset. We're all taught to just push through being tired, to see it as a sign of weakness. But it's not. Fatigue is just your body's data. It's telling you it's time to slow down and recharge. It's a signal, not a failure. Think about it like a farmer who lets a field lie fallow for a year. They're not being lazy, right? They're strategically letting the soil replenish itself so it can be more productive later. A deliberate pause does the same thing for us. It regenerates our creativity and our capacity. A break is literally an investment in your future performance. And the returns on that investment are so real, they're tangible. When you actually prioritize rest, you come back with sharper focus, you're way better at solving complex problems, and you just have more sustainable energy for the long haul. It's not wasted time, it's a performance enhancer. Okay, let's pull all these pieces together into one clear, actionable framework. This right here is the new playbook for what success looks like today.
So here it is. The Future Ready Playbook balances three key things the old model just ignored. You need a why. That's your calling. It gives you direction. You need a how. That's your strategic engine to push you forward. And you need the fuel, the sustainable energy that comes from mastering the power of a pause. Put them all together and you have a complete system for success. You know, the pressure to have your entire life figured out is it's huge, but it's also a total myth. You just need to decide on your next adventure. So using this playbook, what's the next step you're excited to take?